What's going on, guys? Malik back with another video for the future 1%ers and anybody else trying to achieve that financial freedom. You see the title of this video, what makes a business, an entrepreneur, an individual successful versus hyper successful? What is the key to position your brand, your product, yourself in front of an audience and make them pay a premium for your product when they can get it cheap? This is an extremely important mindset switch that you must have if you want to change the amount of dollars that you're bringing into your business or your personal brand. The big theme for me this year is passing up on the crumbs in exchange for a full plate. I suggest that you take on this mindset switch as well, because what you will learn if you have not learned already is that we are in a thriving economy. Things may not be as good as they were, things may get better, they might get worse, whatever the case may be, we are still in a constant exchange of finance, of money, of energy for service. You got to make sure that you're raising your hand for the right service. See, the problem is with most people, especially new entrepreneurs, people who are just getting into making money themselves, they want to put their hands up for the small dollar. I was guilty of this too when I first started my business 5-6 years ago. We started off as a pressure washing company. We were offering the $99 pressure washer. We had no overhead. I was working a regular 9 to 5, had no expenses on the business side of things. I was just hustling, going out there, picking up a quick 100, 200 bucks extra a day. And at that time, that felt correct. But as I evolved as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, I started to notice that, wait a second, there's people out here getting real money. There's people out here making $10,000 plus a week. There's people out here that's making millions every single month. Why am I over here just picking up these crumbs off the ground? Why am I working for the people who are just making millions a month and they're paying me crumbs? And I sat a long time trying to figure this out. I had to reverse engineer what I was seeing. I started to look up my customers. What did they do? How did they get their money? I started asking them, talking to them. What I learned is that they position themselves for success, whether that's through school, whether that's through building a business, whether that's through investments. They position themselves right in the center of the currency exchange. And believe it or not, there are not a lot of people. There's more currency coming in than there is people willing to take it. So understand, these mega rich people, these people who have made a successful life for them and their families, they've decided to stand up in the middle of this free-flowing currency exchange and raise their hand and say, hey, look, I can take it, I can do it. There are not enough service providers in every single industry. Some industries are more oversaturated than others. The perfect example would be pressure washing. Over the last decade, half decade, pressure washing has catapulted in popularity. And with that comes a lot of fly-by-night guys. People starting to understand you can get a cheap pressure wash, but you might get damaged. And that's the exact reason why the professionals, the people who have the proper training, the proper tools, the proper know-how to get the project done, this is why they are raking in the majority of the money. Even though they're charging 5 times the amount of the other person, they still get the job. Why? Because they position themselves as the expert, as the person who knows how to get the work done. If you want your brand to start making some serious profit, if you want to do numbers that the other companies around you are not doing, you have to position yourself as that professional. There are, of course, going to be other guys in your area that are doing it. They become your competition at that point. But everybody else, it doesn't even matter. You actually want people to tell you, yeah, I got a bid for this. It was way cheaper. You look them at the face and say, hey, I understand. This is what we do. We know we're going to get it right. You get a warranty on this, yada, yada, yada. This is our brand. You'll be surprised at how many people say, okay, that's probably right. I mean, think about it. Would you get the iPhone 13 if you could afford it? Or just because the iPhone 5 is cheaper, would you pick that up? You don't get as many features. You can't FaceTime. You don't got the music. Your Wi-Fi sucks. Your phone will crack if you drop it on the floor. But you get to save $600. The same $600 that you'll make in the next 2 days. You got to understand that the product that your customer is purchasing is likely going to be with them longer than the time it is required to make the money for the project. Recognize that people with money understand value. Okay, they understand what they're getting and what they're not getting. If someone ever comes to me and says, hey, look, we got a quote way cheaper, I always ask them, okay, so what aren't you getting? That's the question you should be asking yourself. And there's multiple ways to position yourself as the head of industry. It takes time, it takes work, it takes persistence, but you can definitely do it. You got to look at your venture as a 5-year project at minimum. Okay, spend the first 3 years building up your reputation, acquiring the skills, acquiring the knowledge, acquiring the tools to get the project done as quickly and as effectively as possible. Get customer reviews, take tons of pictures, tons of videos, go live on your social media platforms. Let them see you working. Let them see that, okay, this guy really does this stuff. Okay, he's not a joke. He's not a scammer. He's gonna pull up and he's gonna do it. That way they have no problem handing you a $2,000 check after two hours of work. You will not be able to consistently generate that kind of revenue without putting a system in place that verifies your effectiveness. You can check out some of the older videos on this channel, but I've been saying this for a while. And finally, we're at a point where our cup is starting to overfill as far as my business is concerned. We went from making around 13, 15K a month. We pulled that off in a week. I sat and asked, how was that possible? We did get a little bit faster at the work. We did get a little bit better at the work. We are charging more, but what really made the difference? How come we're closing these high ticket bids? What's going on? We have the resume, we have the portfolio, everything is congruent. So we are attracting that high ticket customer. Again, my customer is not the cheap customer. I want my customer to be there when I do the quote because they're working from home, because they run their own business from home. Okay, they don't have to go out and work the job or whatever the case may be. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but people who are working their own business from home usually have a lot more spending power and freedom than people who do not. And you're only gonna get that customer if you position yourself properly in the market. There are tiers to service in every single industry. You got the McDonald's, the Burger King, the Red Lobster, Salt Bae's Buffet, Gordon Ramsay stuff. I mean, there's levels and tiers to it. Okay, the people that's eating at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant are probably not worried about getting the McChicken from McDonald's. Okay, those same people getting the McChicken from McDonald's looks at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant and says, that's a scam, that's a ripoff. Why would I charge that much? What you gotta understand is that McDonald's positioned themselves to be for the everyday consumer. Every single person in the world can afford McDonald's. But that Chef Ramsay, that Gordon Ramsay, it's only for the top echelon of people, okay? The people who understand the value, who want to go through that experience, who appreciate the experience. I want you to think right now, where do I want to be in my business? Do I want to be the Gordon Ramsay? Do I want to be the McDonald's? Do I want to be the Olive Garden? Find out where you want to be, learn what's required in each of these positions, and follow the steps. Understand the blueprint is already laid out. What are you going to do? What action are you going to put in to start taking the steps to get to your destination? None of this is secret. None of this is rocket science. There's people doing it all the time. I'm not a tremendously smart person, but I'm figuring this out. I know people way dumber than me who make a lot more money than me because they figured it out. They're taking action, they're being disciplined, and they're getting it done. That's the bottom line. It goes for every single industry. Become less transactional and become more transformational in your business. Okay, really focus on your client's happiness. Really focus on their experience. If they get a great experience, you get reviews like this. Now, this right here is a game changer. Okay, now people understand when they see this business, they realize, okay, they're gonna charge me, but I'm gonna get a great job. That is the people that we want to deal with. We don't wanna do 100 jobs and make $20,000. We wanna do 4 jobs and make $20,000. It doesn't make any sense to do it the other way. You're working harder, you're making less, you're putting yourself through more stress. It's unnecessary. A lot of my mentors told me this when I was first coming up. Okay, it took me a while. Experience is the best teacher, 100%. But listen to the people who've been where you are, because they can probably point you in the direction that you want to go. But that's the message for this one, guys. Remember, skip over the crumbs, okay? Unless you got nothing else but the crumbs to pick up the crumbs. Don't get me wrong. But stop putting your head down and looking at crumbs. Instead, look a little bit ahead. Okay, look, there's a full plate right there. You'll never get to the full plate if you keep picking up the crumbs on the way there. By the time you get to the full plate, guess what? Somebody that's like me, who's looking for full plates, I'm gonna go ahead, I already ate the sandwich, bro. It's already gone. I'm too fast, I'm too quick. You're not gonna get there before. Understand, this is the type of people that you're competing with at that high level. The game just gets harder. It's easy to collect in crumbs. If you wanna learn how to position yourself and your brand as an expert, as the leader of industry, check out the Brand for Bucks ebook in the description below. It's a short read, it'll cost you $1, but it will prime your mind to start making the necessary changes in order for you to start taking the steps that you need to take to get to where you want to go. Make sure you check out that ebook. You will not be disappointed. I appreciate you watching. Peace.